Here's how to cultivate real friendships. So let's say you've already followed the previous modules. You've been going to the gym or class or whatever, and you've been starting to speak to new people. You shout out an observation at them. You get into a bit of the conversation. You now know from the previous module what to say. You just kind of talk about the thing you're interested in and then relate it to them. You've had this conversation with someone. Maybe you've already automatically done this, right? You know you were like destined to be a social Chad. If you've already been kind of doing this with people even before you learned it here. But how do you go from that nice conversation with someone in the gym to like a real friendship? This is where you need to follow the advice which I first came up with about 5 years ago, which I called be the initiator. You have to be the one who initiates and leads and basically creates the social event for other people to join. So let's say we've been going to the gym and we had one of those nice conversations with someone in the gym, right? We spoke to them, we told them that, oh yeah, like, I do this and this, my knee hurts, how's your knee, whatever. Okay, we had a couple of nice conversations. We can speak authentically to them, but you wouldn't really consider them a friend just yet. How do you go from that to the point that, for example, they could walk into your home? You probably live with family right now, but imagine if you were living by yourself, that they could like knock on and come over. How do you go from that level, right? Because that's like a beautiful level when your friend can like come over to your place and feel comfortable where you live. That's a beautiful level. How do you go from that? The thing that's in the middle from just the person you speak to, by the way, you've got to get to this point, right? If you're not speaking to them, of course, follow the previous modules. But I've got you to the point now with these people that you're kind of speaking to them, you're having nice conversations. And we want to get to the ultimate point where you're actually close friends with them. How do we cross this gap? We cross this gap with little things that you invite them to do. Small things like, oh, hey, come join me for a workout tomorrow. You are the one who organizes it. And I'm telling you, by the way, bro, it's so easy to do this. I know what you're thinking, wait, what? I've got to organize things or whatever. Here's the big tip. You get into conversations with those people, right? And you simply just invite them to do the thing you are going to do anyway. Imagine how easy this is. Let's say there's a guy you speak to in the gym, you've had some funny conversations. You go and speak to him today and you literally tell him after this conversation, you have a big laugh. Here's a secret tip, by the way. The best time to invite someone to do something with you, whether it's a girl to go on a date with you or a guy to hang out with you, is after like a big laugh. Don't wait till the end of the conversation where it starts dying down. Wait till like the height of the conversation, which might be like 30 seconds in, by the way. When it's the height of the conversation, that's when you, for example, ask for her number. That's when you tell the guy, come join me for this thing. That's when you escalate with the girl, you go in for the kiss or something, right? That's just a secret tip. So let's say you're in the conversation with someone, you have like a nice laugh, you're joking together. And what you say to him is, oh, by the way, bro, I'm doing bench press tomorrow. Do you want to join me? Done. He says, oh yeah, sure. What time? You tell him, oh, I'll be here at 9. He's like, okay, sweet. I'll meet you here. And you're going to go do a chest session together. Suddenly, you're going to meet each other. He's got it in his mind, okay, I'm going to meet Hamza today at 9 a.m. You hype up, you share some things together. Like I always love to do this with friends. You bring like a drink for them, or you make them a coffee, or you open your pre-workout and offer him like a scoop. Things like that, small things like that really add to a friendship where you give each other like small things, or you share like, your water or whatever with each other. You hit this session, hype each other up, keep getting into funny conversations, whatever, you organize it together. And that's like the blossoming of a friendship. If you do that a couple more times very quickly, like within a week, you will have a very good friendship. There was this equation once, which was like how to build a deep friendship. And one of the variables of this equation was quantity, but also it was like frequency, but in a short time. Basically, if you want to become close friends with someone, after you've met them, try to hang out with them multiple times in the same week. Try and organize something that, oh, join my workout tomorrow. Oh, after this workout, bro, I'm going to go get a coffee. You want to come with me? After this workout, I'm going to go eat quickly. Do you want to come with me? Those small things you invite someone to do where you've seen them in different settings, that's so powerful. Here's another tip for you. A lot of guys who fuck a lot know this. When you go on a date with a girl, you try not to just take her to one place. You try and take her quickly to about 3 places. The reason why is because it will feel like she's known you way more when she can, in her memory, she's kind of got a glimpse of you in like 3 different environments rather than one. Do you get why this is impactful? If you take a girl, let's say, just to like a bar, for example, you're gonna go have like wine together, and you've only met there and you're gonna end the night there. She's kind of remembers your face in this bar, like this one kind of mental picture in her mind. Whether you've been there for 4 hours or for 1 hour, she has the one mental picture in her mind. But then let's say you're in that bar for only 1 hour, then you take her to a walk, like on a walk, and you stand next to a lake. Then she has another picture of you in her mind. If you're at that lake for only like 10, 20 minutes, that picture is there anyway. If you're at that lake for 6 hours, that picture is there. So it's better to have a short amount of time in different locations than it is to have a long amount of time in the same location. So this is the weird tip to cultivate friendships. This is like a kind of like a form of manipulation, but it's in a good way, basically. You should basically try to take the person and spend time with them in multiple different environments. At the gym, at the cafe, in a restaurant, outside in the car park, have little moments in 5, 10 different areas. If you can have minimum 3 in the first week of meeting someone, you will feel so much more attached to them. So this is a bit of a power manipulative move, but also make sure you keep your own heart safe as well and only do this with people you actually, because you will connect with them as well, right? Their perception of you is that they'll have the 3 pictures of you, but you'll have 3 pictures of them in your mind. So make sure you only do this with people you actually want to connect with. But the big tip here, to go from just these conversations where, you meet someone in school or gym or whatever, to actually having the friendship, is basically you've just got to spend time with them. And the way that you spend time with people is you have to be the one to invite them to do stuff with you. You have to text them and say, oh, hey, bro, I'm going to do this tomorrow. Come join me. Come join me. I'm going to go do a chest session tomorrow at the gym at 9 a.m. Come through. I'm going to go hit deadlifts tomorrow or the day after at 9 a.m. I'm going to go do this stretching class in our gym. Come through. I'm going to go for a coffee here before the gym tomorrow. You want to come join? These little small things, it makes it so much easier for someone to really, really get like used to you and build up this friendship way more than if you just see each other in the same environment. Like the guy that you see in the same environment constantly, like the school or the gym, he can be a kind of a nice friend, but you wouldn't call that guy like your best friend. If you want to start getting new best friends, you have to see, like your brain has to see the picture of them in like 10 different environments. And of course you follow the previous modules, about like speaking up to each other, speaking about what's on your mind. You just broke up with your girl, and since you're interested in that conversation, you say it to your friend and you end up getting into a deeper conversation because of that. That's stuff that you already knew, right? In this module, if I told you like, oh yeah, like talk about personal things, that's already gonna happen. I don't need to tell you that. The big tip that it's like this psychological manipulation I wanted to give you in this one is you have to see the person in multiple different environments. We're the type of people, if you're watching this, we get into deep conversations with each other, with people in our lives. When you meet someone who you're compatible with, you will start to speak about girls and red pill and self-improvement, your dreams, your goals. I don't have to tell you to do that. I know you'll do that already. We're the type of guys, if we're in the gym, we'll talk about our goals, we'll talk about fitness, we'll compliment each other, we'll talk about the exercise we're doing, we'll talk about our goals and dreams and this girl I'm dating, whatever. We'll talk about those things, we'll get into deep conversations, and that's nice. But the special tip, you have to see them in like 5 to 10 different locations. If you keep seeing them in the gym, I promise your sort of level of friendship is going to be very low. So think to yourself right now, what reasonably could you start to invite people to? Let's say if most of your social life is in the gym, like it is for me, that's fine. What could you do? You can invite them for a gym session. That's like the bare minimum. Okay, sweet. You could invite them to something else at the gym, like a stretching session or cardio. Okay, sweet, that's nice. But you should try and take them out of that situation that you met them in. You invite them to the coffee shop close to the gym. You invite them to dinner, to lunch. You invite them maybe to come over. You invite them to watch this movie together. These are the things, like I would, basically, if I meet someone in the gym, this is exactly what I would do. I would start with inviting someone to do the thing that we already met at. So if I meet someone in the gym, I wouldn't say, oh, hey, bro, want to go for like a dinner and hold hands after this? I wouldn't do that. If I met someone at the gym, the first thing I'd invite them to is the gym tomorrow. Just see how it's easy, because it's like, I know the guy likes the gym. I know he goes to the gym at this time. So I'll invite him to do the same thing with me tomorrow. It doesn't feel intimate. We're both going to go here at the same time anyway, but it's just built up a bit of a friendship because we're going to go together. So that friend that I spoke about in the previous module, where I was stood with him and this other guy, and I started speaking about fucking, and then he started speaking about it as well, and we realized like we've got a similar sense of humor. I invited him to hit deadlifts with me the next day. I invited a bunch of my friends. My cameraman came. We had like 2-3 guys. We were like hitting deadlifts together, and that was like a funny day. We were like laughing. We hit a couple of reps each and stuff. Boom. That was it. Then the next time I invited the same guy, me and him started to do mobility classes together. We started to like do the stretching classes together. I messaged a few people. No one else consistently. My fucking, you don't want to come, do you, bro? My cameraman doesn't ever want to do those ones. But I messaged a few people and I'm like, okay, do you want to come do mobility? Almost everyone said like, no, it's gay basically. But he was like, yeah, I'm stiff as fuck. I want to. So me and him have been doing those stretching classes together. And naturally, like our relationship has boosted because we spend more time together. We've got like these inside jokes and whatever. So you start like inviting someone to the same environment that you met each other at in the first place. So let's say if you meet someone in school that you've not really spoke to before, but you're developing a friendship with them, you say to them, oh bro, I'm gonna come an hour earlier tomorrow to do that essay. Have you done the essay? And he's like, oh, have you done the homework? And he says no. And say, oh, just come an hour earlier. I'm gonna do it here. You wanna come join me? Or I'm gonna go do it at lunch in the library. You wanna come join me? You're inviting them to something that they're already basically coming to. So boom, that's like the first thing you invite them to. Then I would suggest you invite them to something which is aligned with the thing that you met each other at, but not completely. And the best thing I'd say for this is like, let's go get something like coffee before we go do the thing that we met at, like the gym. So the first date that you do with a friend, invite them to the same situation that you met at, like the gym. I met you at the gym, let's come to the gym tomorrow together, boom. The second date is, okay, I met you at the gym, now I'm gonna invite you to do something not completely at the first location, but kind of close. Let's go get coffee before the gym tomorrow. Do you see how we stay a bit comfortable? It doesn't feel gay because we're both going to go to the gym tomorrow anyway. I'm just going to go for a coffee next door, like to the cafe next to the gym, 20 minutes before the workout. Come get a coffee with me. It's a really nice place. Let's get a pre-workout thing. Let's get a donut from here, whatever. Okay, boom, done. Then you can start to invite people to like, okay, let's go on here. Let's go to dinner. Me and a few friends are going to dinner. We're going to do this. Boom, 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 boom. Then it becomes so much easier for you to actually invite them to big shit. And now you can start talking about, okay, let's go on a hike together. Let's start like, do you want to travel? Do you want to fucking live together and travel? Whatever. You can start talking about that because now you've been friends for weeks. They know your dating life. They know what happened with your ex-girlfriend. They know about your family. Now you're basically best friends. Boom. I know that my boys are the type of guys that if you went for a coffee with someone, naturally you'd start talking about self-improvement goals, dating, all these things. You don't need me to tell you that. Open up. Speak about what's on your mind. We already spoke about this in the previous module. The special tip that I've seen for guys like us is we stay autistic. The only time we meet people is in the environment that we kept on meeting them at. So basically the friends we have in school, we basically only spend time with them in school. The friends we met at the gym, we only spend time with them in the gym. What you need to do is mix people to different environments. That is the big constraint. That is how someone will feel way more connected to you and you will feel way more connected to them. The last thing I'm going to say is, for me personally, my personal bias, I have felt the closest to people, the closest friendships, when they specifically come over to my place casually. If you can create that kind of vibe, right now you might be young, they can't really come over to your place, but maybe soon if you are going to go to like university or college, you're going to move out there or you're going to get your own place, have the kind of vibe where the people you really want to connect with can come into your home and they can feel comfortable there. They can feel, and you can feel comfortable to the point, for example, that you could lie down on the couch or you could lie down in bed and it wouldn't be kind of weird for you to do that. That's the best level of friendship, in my opinion, is where like someone could literally walk into your room. You're lying down in bed, just having like a bit of a nap, or you're just kind of like, I don't know, not scrolling, but you're like just on your phone or whatever. And you would feel comfortable with them being in your room. That's the level that you want to get to in the future. You don't just invite someone to do that right away. But that's like the beautiful level where it's like, okay, this person, like my friend could literally walk in and like get water from my little water thing here. He could go to the toilet, whatever. That's the point you want to get to where now you feel so close to each other. You've heard each other like fart before, you know about his girlfriend, you know about his family, whatever, and you feel so comfortable with each other. This is where those real conversations come out. This is where like the real kind of social co-regulation, this like attachment to each other really forms, is when you've seen each other so often that now seeing each other come over to your place is not even like a special thing. They'll just come over to hang out. So an extra tip I'm just going to give you, I didn't think I'd tell you this, but an extra tip. You know how I've been hyping up for you to eventually move to a place like Bali, which has got like people like us, right? I've moved to like a bunch of countries. This has been the best place I've moved to. And I want you to eventually get to the point where you can move to a place like this and you create this kind of social life where like your boys can just come over to your place, or maybe you move here with like one or two or three other guys and you live in the same villa. You live in the same like villa, the same home, and it's easy for you to just knock on your friend's door and walk into his bedroom and you hang out in the living room together. That's where the real friendship really is. Level one, like good friendship, is where you message each other like, oh hey, I'll see you at 9 tomorrow. Like that's still pretty nice. But the best one is when you're so comfortable you wouldn't even have to like message your friend. You could just turn up at his room or at his home. That's the level that once you get there, bro, I'll tell you like that's where the real attachment forms. That's how you can also use Library of Adonis as well. If you want to start leveling up and eventually you want to move out of your parents' home, you could probably find a guy who also wants to move to the same place as you. Many of the guys here, want to move to Bali because I've been hyping it up. You could find someone to move with, to share the villa with. So how awesome is that? That's like the end stage level. You move to a place where you live by yourself, not with family anymore. You can have friends come over to your place and you just can be so much more social. For that, of course, you're going to need to make money online. You're going to need to have your own place, but that can really help your friendship. And to make money, I just think you should just be a content creator, honestly. It's such a beautiful business model. You make money online, you can travel the world. My social life is so much better now that I'm traveling and I make money online rather than when it was when I was at home. So if I remember, I'll link. I have like a content creation program. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I'll link it below this module. If you want to get to the point where you're making money online, you can afford to move out and then people can come over to your home. That is what I would recommend. That's how you make the money, and this is how you get to the deepest levels of friendship, because it's so intimate. When someone steps into your home, that's like the ultimate level of real friendship, is like, and you feel comfortable with them being there.